Hello, and welcome back to another video on legends and myths. Today, I'll be telling you the story of one of the most important deities in Mayan culture, Chaac, the god of rain, thunder, and lightning. Chaac, also spelled Chaac or Chaac, is the name of the rain god in the Mayan religion. As with many Mesoamerican cultures that base their living on rain-dependent agriculture, the ancient Mayan felt a particular devotion for the deities controlling rain. Rain gods or rain-related deities were worshipped beginning in very ancient times and were known under many names among different Mesoamerican people. For example, the Mesoamerican rain god was known as Cochiho by the late formative period Zapotec of the Oaxaca Valley, as Tlaloc by the late post-classic Aztec people in central Mexico, and of course as Chaac among the ancient Mayan. Since Chaac was the Mayan god of rain, lightning, and storms, he is often depicted holding jade axes and snakes that he uses to throw at the clouds to produce rain. With his lightning axe, Chaac strikes the clouds, causing them to produce thunder and rain. His actions assured the growth of maize and other crops in general, as well as maintaining the natural cycles of life. Natural events of different intensities, from the vivifying rain and wet season storms to the more dangerous and destructive hailstorms and hurricanes, were considered manifestations of the god. For the ancient Mayan, the rain god had a particularly strong relationship with rulers because, at least for the earlier periods of Mayan history, rulers were considered rainmakers, and in later periods were thought to be able to communicate and intercede with the gods. The alter egos of Mayan shamans and rulers' roles often overlapped, especially in the post-classic period. The pre-classic shaman rulers were said to be able to reach the inaccessible places where the rain gods dwelled and intercede with them for the people. These deities were believed to live on top of mountains and in high forests, which were often hidden by clouds. These were places where, in the rainy seasons, the clouds were hit by Chaac and his helpers, and the rains were announced by thunder and lightning. According to Mayan cosmology, Chaac was also linked to the 4 cardinal directions. Each world direction was connected with one aspect of Chaac and a specific color. Chaac Shib Chaac was the red Chaac of the east, Sak Shib Chaac, the white Chaac of the north, X Shib Chaac, the black Chaac of the west, and Kan Shib Chaac, the yellow Chaac of the south. Collectively, these were called the Chaaks, or Chaacob, or Chaaks, plural for Chaac, and they were worshipped as deities themselves in many parts of the Mayan area, especially in the Yucatan. In a burner ritual reported in the Dresden and Madrid codices and said to be conducted to ensure copious rains, the 4 Chaaks had different roles. One takes the fire, one begins the fire, one gives scope to the fire, and one puts out the fire. When the fire was lit, hearts of sacrificial animals were cast into it, and the 4 Chaac priests poured jugs of water to put out the flames. This Chaac ritual was performed twice each year, once in the dry season, once in the wet. Even though Chaac is one of the most ancient of Mayan deities, almost all of the known representations of the rain god are from the classic and post-classic periods, 200 to 1521 AD. Most of the surviving images depicting the rain god are on classic period painted vessels and post-classic codexes. As with many Mayan gods, Chaac is portrayed as a blend of human and animal characteristics. He has reptilian attributes and fish scales, a long nose, and a protruding lower lip. He holds the stone axe used to produce lightning and wears an elaborate headdress. Although the key role ascribed to Chaac by the Mayans is that of a rainmaker, he is also associated with thunderstorms. For this latter trait, he was considered related to warfare as well. This may be the reason why Mayans kings often dressed up as the rain deity when embarking on wars. This was done to emphasize the furious aspect of Chaac. So when a Mayan king dressed up as him, it was to depict the furious rage of the king in waging the war. Chaac masks are found protruding from Mayan architecture at many terminal classic period Mayan sites such as Mayapan and Chichen Itza. Mayapan's ruins include the Hall of Chaac masks, thought to have been commissioned by Chaac priests around 1300 to 1350 AD. The earliest possible representation of a pre-classic Mayan rain god Chaac recognized to date is carved into the face of Stela I at Izapa and dated to the terminal pre-classic period about 200 AD. Ceremonies in honor of the rain god were held in each Mayan city and at different levels of society. Rituals to propitiate rain took place in the agriculture fields, as well as in more public settings such as plazas. Sacrifices of young boys and girls were carried out in especially dramatic periods, such as after a prolonged period of drought. In Yucatan, rituals asking for rains are documented for the late post-classic and colonial periods. In the sacred cenote of Chichen Itza, for example, people were thrown and left to drown there, accompanied by precious offerings of gold and jade. Evidence of other, less lavish ceremonies have also been documented by archaeologists in caves and karstic wells all over the Mayan area. As part of the care of a cornfield, members of the historic period of Mayan communities in the Yucatan Peninsula today held rain ceremonies, in which all the local farmers participated. These ceremonies reference the Chacob, and the offerings include balshi, or corn beer. Rain is a key element in the Earth's water cycle, which is vital to all life on Earth. Rainfall is the main way that the water in the skies comes down to Earth, where it fills our lakes and rivers, recharges the underground aquifers, and provides drinks to plants and animals. Rain is immensely important to agriculture. Where there is a limitation in water supply, the plants do not develop as they should. The water is vital for the maintenance of physiological and chemical processes that take place within plant structures. Rainfall is of fundamental importance for the food industry to flourish. To sustain food sources, humans need to gain the proper perspective of the importance of rain and accept their influence and responsibility to manage it well. Maize was the staple diet of the Mayans, and it figures prominently in many Mayan religious symbols. This is understandable because maize was essentially the lifeline crop for the Mayans. Many Mayan deities are associated with it, and this includes Chaac. According to a Mayan myth, the rain deity Chaac was one of the key figures responsible for helping open the mountain in which maize was hidden. Mayans believed that Chaac was directly concerned with agriculture. He was considered the patron deity of agriculture. In Mayan mythology, Chaac is one of the deities who helped open up a mountain and found the secret hidden maize. This brings out the true importance of Chaac in agriculture because maize was the most important crop for the Mayans. Since Mayans had to rely heavily on rainwater for drinking water, for crops, and for various other purposes, rains were critically important to their survival. So while at one side, they constructed reservoirs to store water when it rained, at the other they looked to Chaac to bring them a good rainy season each year. In one version of Mayan mythology, nubile women represent maize and other vegetables grown by the Mayans. And Chaac is considered a father to these women. Chaac was one of the most important rain deities in the Mayan pantheon. It was to him the Mayans looked when they wanted rain. Since rain was critically important for growing maize and other crops, the Mayans also considered Chaac a patron deity of agriculture. He was credited with being among the key deities who helped discover corn and offer this knowledge to mankind. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this to come. Be sure to let me know what other deities you would like for me to make a video on next. Take care, and I'll see you in the next myth.